You're listening to the Joel Martin Mastery Podcast, your source of music news, stories, and 2-hour deep dive interviews with bands that have sold over 150 million albums. If you've been enjoying the podcast, please take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Now let's dive in to today's episode. Welcome to the Joel Martin Mastery Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. We are joined by a very special guest. She's achieved a level of mastery as a singer, songwriter, and drummer whose music has been streamed over 70 million times. And she just wrapped up a massive tour with Seether, Daughtry, and POD. So welcome to the podcast, Kehoe. Cami, how are you? And how excited were you to hear your song, your new single, Fade Out, on K-Rock yesterday?
I was at a loss of words. I was so excited. I've never had my song played on the radio before. Um, and yeah, I literally was about to start crying, but it's like so hard for me to cry. So like my eyes were definitely watering, but it was super crazy. So
You were saying, fight the feels, fight the
but I know
feels.
because I went live because I wanted to experience that moment with my fans because my manager had texted me a little bit and was like before and was like, you're gonna be on the radio, and I was like, what? And he goes, get in your car. So I ended up sitting in my car for like 2 hours. No one knows this part, but because I didn't know what time they were gonna play it, so I was just sitting in my car, and then I went live because I was like, I want to experience this moment with my fans because the reason I'm on the radio is because my supporters and people that listen to my music and stuff. So I wanted to share that with them, and then yeah, I was like, don't cry.
And you're telling me that is the first time you've heard your song on the radio?
Well, I was on Sirius XM Octane, and they like have been playing Dopamine a lot. So that was the first time I was on the radio. But like hearing it on K-Rock was like so crazy. I was like, what? Like, yeah, it was gnarly.
Yeah, I guess Sirius, it's like, oh, it's on satellite radio, but K-Rock is like
Yeah,
terrestrial radio. And
yeah,
it's not just
yeah.
that. K-Rock is like the gold standard of having a song on
I
the radio.
know, I know. I was like freaking out. I was like, wow, it doesn't feel real. Like still, I'm like very excited, but.
I mentioned in the intro, you just came off this massive tour, September, October, November. You were at three iconic bands, Seether, POD, Daughtry. I thought you might still be a little sad that that tour came to an end because it just ended a few days ago.
It
So I
did.
thought I would kick off this interview powerfully. So I reached out to one of the most iconic frontmen in all of music. And I have some kind words sent in from a vocalist whose band has sold over 12 million albums. So this is from Sonny Sandoval of POD. And
Oh.
he says, out of all the young musicians I've met in the last decade, Cami is by far one of the most talented and focused of them all. She's truly a gifted songwriter, and you'll be hearing a lot more from her in the future. So that's from Sonny.
Oh, I love Sunny. Oh my God, so sweet. Oh, damn. Wow, that's actually crazy. I love him. I love the entire crew. Everybody on that tour was just so incredible and good to me. And like, it was just like, it felt like a family. Like, everyone was so. I went up on stage with all three of them, Seether, Daughtry, and POD. They had me come up for like one song, and it was just like such an incredible tour. So.
So when you got asked to hop on stage with POD to play Youth of the Nation, what emotions did you go through between the moment of being asked, which is surreal, and then actually being
Uh-huh.
on stage with that iconic band playing perhaps their most iconic song?
Yeah, I actually have a video of when they asked me because my videographer Dazami was filming on like a camcorder for like the whole tour. So eventually, I'm going to release like or post a huge like vlog that's like a 2 hour long vlog of the entire tour on just on a camcorder. So I actually captured that moment, which is awesome, and I like freaked out and I was like, "Are you serious? Like, no way! Like, really?" And they were like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then we like rehearsed it a couple times and sound checks before I actually played. And all I can remember thinking was like, I need to do really well because this song is not only iconic, but like it played a huge role in my life as an artist. And I remember hearing that song when I was younger, like a kid. I would say like maybe 8 or 10 around that age. I don't know what age specifically, but I remember listening to that song and like feeling very emotional. And I've always been like an emotional kid. And I feel like I could feel people's emotions. So when I listened to that song, I was like, oh my God, the world is so fucked up and like I would love to help it. Like it just made me so sad like hearing the kids sing and like all the different stories in the verses. And I think that inspired me to write with purpose and write with intent. And so like my whole thing, cure the world and what I want to do to help the world and stuff. It has a lot to do with what I write about and how I try and help people through my lyrics and stuff like that. But yeah, that song definitely played a huge role in that for me. So being able to play it with them, even during sound check was amazing. Like I would be happy just to play it in sound check, and then playing it at the show was just like absolutely insane. I think we played it twice, like two different shows.
It's not just that you were playing drums on that song, but that song itself has really cool drums.
It does. It literally the pattern is so sick, and I knew this song by heart, so it was like I'm like I will definitely practice it, but I know this song, so it was awesome.
We're going to do a full 2 hour deep dive. We're going to cover your life, your career, your discography. There's so much to get to. We mentioned you just released a brand new single in the last 24 hours. So we're going to get to that. But we need to get started all the way at the beginning. There's a huge journey here to get to the point where you're at today. So, where does this love of music come from? Is there an earliest musical memory that jumps out to you?
Um, I have two sisters, Kayla and Kirsten. I'm the youngest. We're all 1 year apart. So right now, 22, 23, 24. So we're all like this. So my parents raised us like triplets, which was interesting. We were all super close. But when I was 3, which I don't remember, I just know this from like hearing stories and stuff. My parents got me and my sisters a bunch of instruments for like Christmas, and I gravitated straight towards the drums. There was like like a toy drum kit, and I was like on it every morning with like headphones, not even plugged into anything, just like whacking on
Just
shit.
looking
So
awesome.
yeah, so um, my parents told me that. I don't really, that's not a memory I can remember, but I know I've always been like gravitated towards music all the time. And my parents aren't musicians, but they love music. So I grew up listening to music all the time. And then when I was 6, my parents put us in music lessons because we wanted to play instruments like for real. And I got drum lessons and I hated drum lessons, but I
What did
was
you hate about them?
I didn't like reading music. I actually don't know how to read music, which I regret, and I wish I took the time to learn how to read music. But because I would just play it by ear, and I would copy the drum instructor, and I would play it like perfectly, and he'd be like, "You're not reading this sheet music," and I was like, "Yes, I am," and then he'd be like, "No, you're not," and I was like, "Fuck."
You're a good drummer, just a bad liar.
Yeah, no, no, bad liar for sure. And so yeah, I just didn't I liked being free. Like I never wanted to be put in a box. I've always been like everyone's called me like the wild child, like the animal from the Muppets. Like I was just like crazy and I didn't want to be told what to do and like whatever. That's why the drums were so good for me because I got a bunch of my energy out on the drums. But yeah, me and my sister started a band because we all gravitated towards separate instruments and my parents like really nurtured that and supported that and they were like soccer mom and dads but for music so they were just like die hard like let's go let's do some shows at like I think our first show we did was at like a pizza place in Florida because I used to live in Florida and yeah so I just been doing it forever and we started off doing covers and then we went to this school or it wasn't a school it was like for lessons called Absolute Music. I don't know if it's still around but I remember they taught us there was a class where I learned how to make a song correctly, like the structure of a song, and that was my favorite. Like by far anything I've ever done, drums, vocals, it's writing. Like writing lyrics and writing structure of a song and writing melodies is like by far my favorite thing ever. So in the band, I feel like I did write a lot of the melodies and a lot of the songs. And so yeah, that's like the start of it.
There's benefits to reading music, but do you think maybe not reading music or not knowing music notation, all that stuff, maybe that helps you to think outside of the box? Maybe you're doing things that aren't
Okay.
conventional.
I'll take that. I do think that, and a lot of people don't know this either. I don't play a melodic instrument, so I don't play guitar. I play like keys barely. Like I could play like 4 chords on the piano, and I can make like 100 songs out of the 4 chords. Same with guitar, but I can't really play like any of a melodic instrument. So I feel like because of that too, I'm like really when I make melodies, it's really rhythm based. So it's like a pocket, like a drum pocket. So. I don't know. I'm like indifferent because I wish I could play all instruments and be fluent in everything and sound really good and know what chord is which and be like, but maybe that would make me too like technical and not as free. So maybe there's a positive to that. I'm sure there is, but
Yeah,
yeah.
your vocals are essentially the melodic instrument. Do you have someone around you that can take, if you come up with something with the melody of the vocal, but you can't play it on guitar, do you have someone that can take what you're singing and basically translate that to an instrument?
Yes, Kurt Martin, I've been working with for the last year. I've worked with a lot of producers. I also love Keith Sorellis. There's a handful of producers I love working with. Um, but something about Kurt, I've went in the studio with him once, and the first time I went with him was Safe House. When the fires were happening, I went to Vegas and ended up meeting him and Echo and the guys I'm on in Colorblind, Travis. And Kurt was in the room producing, and he produced that song. And I watched him, and I was like, he is so fast. Like he made the song in like 5 minutes tops, like the entire song. So I was like, I've never seen someone work this fast before. I've seen people work fast, not that fucking fast. I was like, oh my God. I was like, so I looked at him and I was like, I need to work with you if you live in LA. And he said he does. So I was like, okay. So when the fires, everything settled down from the fires and stuff, we went back. And I hit him up and I was like, "Can we please write a song?" I was like, there's something about your quickness that like when I write, I'm super fast. So I can write a song in like 5 to 10 minutes, like an entire song. And I can freestyle it off the top of my head. So having someone in that speed that's like also there was super helpful for me because I can like lose ideas really fast and like whatever. And so first song we made was Obsessed, which is on my EP. Second song I made was Candy. Like like every song I released that I wrote with him. So it was just like a super crazy flow. And so yeah, any melody I had, I remember I wrote Candy in the shower. Like the melody, the you taste like candy, like just in my head. And I had this idea for this acoustic guitar, but I can't play. So I was like, Kurt, I had this melody. I sang it to him. He played it. The song was done. And I was like, fire.
He's like a sonic scientist. He can just take things out of the
Yes,
ether and then make them something
literally.
tangible.
He's so smart too. Like so smart, so sweet, like very driven. So yeah, I've enjoyed working with him a lot in the last year.
So you started with the drums, then you started songwriting. At what point did you start singing?
So I've always been a backup singer since I was a kid. So in my band, me and my sisters did three-part harmonies. That's I think what set us apart, or was we were trying to make that our thing. Like, oh, we're sisters, and we all play instruments, but we do three-part harmonies, and like no one does real harmonies anymore. Like I don't know, and it was hard because we were doing rock music. So we were doing rock covers, and then when we started making original songs, we started doing rock music, but it was like classic rock, and it was really good. But rock was not in back then, and it was so sad because I remember like we grew up on that. We grew up on all genres, but like rock was like just felt like our vibe and it just wasn't in and pop was really in at that time. So yeah, I was a backup vocalist for a long time and then I started singing for real, like lead when we broke up when I was 16.
Do you remember some of those early covers you did as a band?
Um, we did a Green Day cover of Holiday.
Nice.
That was a good one. A lot of Paramore covers.
I think
Um,
Haley Williams might be my favorite female vocalist. Like
oh
she's
yeah,
just
also
incredible.
same. Also same. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely love her. I'm trying to think of other covers. A lot of Green Day, Paramore, and for some reason my brain's not working, but I'm sure there's a lot more. So,
It's funny when you mentioned that you guys did three-part harmonies and you felt like that would make you guys stand out. I
mhm.
go to see a ton of concerts. So tonight I'm going to see a Econoline Crush here in Ottawa. And whenever I see a live band, if there's just one singer and there's no harmonies in the entire set, it's like, okay, I have the band somewhere here. As soon as there's one harmony somewhere, I,
Yeah,
I elevate the band a little bit in my mind. And
yeah,
whenever there's three-part harmonies, it's like, okay, this band is next level. So it's funny you
yeah,
mentioned.
yeah. No, for sure. It definitely was something that we had on lock, and it was a super cool trick, I guess, we would pull out when we played live. But we were also so young. So from 6 to 16, I was drumming and singing in that band, making rock music.
Did hearing and singing harmonies come easy to you, or is that something you have to work on?
No, it did come easy. So everything, I feel like I have an ear for hearing harmonies and stuff like that. And I always got, it's so funny because I was the youngest, but I always got put the highest. I was always like the fifth or like the whatever. I don't know the terms,
Yeah.
but I was always the highest harmony. And it's because my range is so crazy. I have like a lower register voice. I feel like when I talk, it's not like super high pitch. It's kind of sits more lower. But when I sing, I could sing pretty high falsetto and I could belt really high, but I could also go super low. So I remember like multiple times in the studio, new producers I worked with would go in and I was like, let me do like some doubles and my harmonies and stuff. And I do like the octave low and they're like, you could hit that? And I'm like, yes. Like,
That's cool because you could do covers of songs with male singers and probably
yeah,
hit those low notes.
yeah. So it's super cool. So I've always had like a pretty wide range. But yeah, harmonies have always come kind of easy for me.
So when we scheduled this interview, I put out the bat signal to the Cami Kehoe fans to get fan questions. So I have fan questions sprinkled
Oh,
out
really?
throughout the interview. And the first question is from Evelyn Withrow. And her question is, as you were just starting out in your career, who are some amazing female artists that you looked up to, and how did they help shape your style as an artist? I think you are an incredibly powerful singer. So that's from Evelyn.
Oh my God. Thank you. That's really sweet. Damn. Okay. So I grew up loving Miley Cyrus. That was my girl. Grew up loving her. Everything about her, just personality wise to her her voice to I don't know, just her whole vibe. I think I grew up looking up to her, and then also Joan Jett. So those two women, specific, which is so funny, they just did a song together like a couple, I think, years ago. But so seeing My Worlds Collide, I was like, oh my God. Um, I think they're both really powerful women, and I think there's a lot of really powerful women, especially in the rock world, like Amy Lee and Lizzie Hale, and but definitely I think Joan Jett and Miley Cyrus have been like my two people I've looked up to my entire life growing up. So Joan Jett just has this like angst about her and she has something to say and I feel like she didn't really give a shit what people thought about her and she just did it. And I love the way she stuck up for women and women's rights and yeah, I just saw her in concert and I flipped my shit. I was like,
It
wow,
was good.
yeah, she's still so fucking sick and she's older now, but she's fucking incredible and she still kills it. Like her whole band kills it and I love that she's loyal. She's been with her band for like 40 years and she said that on stage and I was like, that's so beautiful. Like to have a family like that, like a band that just like rides with you and shit is it's hard to find nowadays. But yeah, I just love them both. I think they're really strong women. So,
I did a podcast episode on Joan Jett where she took rejection and turned it into a number one single. So nobody wanted to sign her. They said she was
yep,
too punk. They didn't get it. They didn't understand. So she started her own record label. And so she's the first, I believe she's the first woman to start an independent record label. And it was on her independent label that she released I Love Rock and Roll and it went to
yep.
number one and it sold million. That was done independently because nobody wanted to take a chance on her. She took a chance on herself.
Yeah, she's insane.
If I met you at 12 years old, who would I be meeting? What is that Cammy like
Oh
versus
my
this
God.
Cammy?
Okay. Well, I'm ginger. I feel like I don't know if that you could tell. A lot of people don't know that. So I had super red hair. Like my hair was like probably more red when I was 12. No eyebrows because they were white. I always wore cutoffs, still do to this day. Always had drumsticks in my hand, and I was very wild. I was just very like, I'll play anything. Look what I can play. I'll play whatever you want me to play. Like, I was always just like, I loved music. I loved film. Like, I still do. So I was always filming everything too. I always had a camera in my hand, and I was like filming vlogs for my sister or for the band, and filming music videos and stuff. I was a very like happy, crazy kid who didn't give a shit what anyone thought about her. And I was like awkwardly tall as well. So,
What do you think is the most impressive song you could play on drums at 12 years old when you're running around saying, I could play anything?
No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, nice.
That was my song. That was my song.
Are you a Dave Grohl fan? He
Yes,
he
I
played.
am.
Not everyone knows that he played drums on that
I
entire
know.
album.
I didn't know that until years later. But that was my favorite song when I was a kid to play. So, and Live Wire by Motley Crue.
the best concert I've ever seen was Queens of the Stone Age and Nine Inch Nails. So I saw
Oh
them
my
once in
God.
Montreal, and then like a decade later, I saw the two bands together again at a festival in Philadelphia. And I just saw Queens of the Stone Age were here in Ottawa a few months ago, so I saw them for a third time. And man, that
Wow.
band's awesome.
Yeah, they're insane. They're so good.
Do you remember the first concert you ever attended? I feel like you might have played a concert before you
I,
even went
I,
and
I
saw
think
a
I
concert.
honestly think I did. Like truthfully, I went to a lot of small concerts when I was younger. So I was born in Missouri. I moved to Florida when I was 3. My parents and me all moved. And then we started the band in Florida. But when I was 8, my parents moved us to LA to like get signed and like go to Hollywood. Like that was like the thing. And so it was like a big jump for us because Florida, California on the other side of the fucking US. And they were just willing to do it. They were like, we believe in you guys and we want to take you guys, we want to help you guys like be successful and whatever. And so I was 8 at the time. And my parents I think my dad grew up in California, so he like knew around and stuff like that. And I feel like my dad is like knows everything somehow. I don't know. My parents are like superheroes
He's
still,
just a
so
genius.
yeah, I don't know. So he like would we would go to the Sunset Boulevard and he would take us to the Rainbow and like I would see all the pictures of like Motley Crue and like everyone on the walls and I'd be like, "Oh my God, when I'm older, I want to come here and like hang out here with my band and stuff," which I do, which is so funny, like full circle moment. Um but my parents would take us to the whiskey when we were younger, and we would watch bands like that. So I want to say my first show was probably like a band I don't even know at the whiskey or Troubadour or whatever. Um, I want to say I'm trying so hard to remember my first concert, but I can't remember my first concert.
You
But
might have to ask your parents. They
yeah,
might
because I was
they
probably
might
super
remember.
young, and I've seen so many like concerts, so it's like they all get like mushed in like a little bit. So I'm like, fuck, I want to remember, but I don't know if I can.
If we were friends when you were 16 years old and you invited me over to listen to some albums, what albums would you be playing for me?
Okay, so when I was 16, me and my band had just broken up. But 2 years prior to that, we stopped making rock music and we switched to pop music because pop rock wasn't in. But I was listening to everything. So when I put in my headphones, I was listening to folk music, a lot of Cage the Elephant. I was like obsessed with Cage the Elephant. A lot of indie music, Hippocampus, Omar Apollo. I love him. Mac Miller. Um, I think as I got older, I stopped listening to rock as much, and I was listening to more indie rock, um, and more R&B. Um, but I think now that rock's coming back and I've listened, it's coming back, and I'm like, wow, like it's definitely making a comeback, which is crazy. But when I was 16, what albums I would have played you? I'm trying to think. Definitely Cage the Elephant. I literally have my favorites on my wall. Tell Me I'm Pretty by Cage the Elephant. Circles, Mac Miller. Arctic
They
Monkeys is up there.
Yeah, Cage the Elephant has some really good songs.
I have like my
In
like
One Ear is so good.
yeah.
No Rest for the Wicked.
Oh yeah. So good. Yeah.
What was on that wall? I didn't see any of them.
It was my record player thing. Like that's Arctic Monkeys. Wait. Arctic Monkeys?
And that's Joan Jett, the Change Up album.
Yeah, both of those are Joan Jett right there in the middle. And
What's
then
the oh, that's Mac
AC/DC.
Miller, the white one. Yeah.
Yeah, AC/DC, Arctic Monkeys, Mac. Then I got like Omar Apollo, a bunch of people down there. I listen to a lot of like Motown too in the mornings and stuff. But yeah, I listen to everything. So it's like hard when people ask me like what do you listen to? I'm like, it's just gone like this. That's why I feel like my music can be so like genreless because I listen to everything. So
I think listening to everything is a good thing as a musician, right? And
mm,
as a songwriter, because it allows you to kind of pull tricks from every genre. Like there are
yeah,
certain things that really work in dance music that you're drawn to, and there's certain things that really work in heavy metal that you're drawn to. And it's like, wait, why can't you take ammunition from every genre if you're going into battle while writing songs?
right, right.
I have one more question about your life growing up, leading up to your solo career. Once you decided that you wanted to do music full time, you wanted to become a professional, you wanted to do this for a living, did you have to deal with any kind of negativity or resistance from friends or family? It sounds like your family's pretty supportive, but did you deal with any kind of resistance?
Um, I want to say if anyone was holding me back and being negative, it was me, it was myself. I think my parents have always been supportive. I remember when we broke up, I was like I was distraught. I didn't know what to do. I was like I didn't pay attention in school. I thought I was gonna be a rock star. I was like I do not know what I'm gonna do with my life. I can't stop writing music. I can't stop writing songs. I'm a drummer. I'm not a guitarist or pianist. I can't make music like that. Like I can't just make songs off of drums and singing. So I was pretty heartbroken. We were all heartbroken. It was like definitely like a devastating time in our lives, and I look back and I cherish every single thing about it. But yeah, when I was 16, thank God I had film in my back pocket, so I started filming music videos for like SoundCloud rappers when I was like 17 or 16. And I did that for a little bit, and I was like, I can't stop making music. I kept writing songs, taught myself how to produce, and basically, but well, before I did all of that, I my dad started selling all the equipment that we had this casita with all of the like the studio built in there. And my dad's like, "Well, you guys aren't in a band anymore. I'm gonna sell it all." And so I like started watching him start slowly selling pieces, and I was like, "I need to say something." Like,
Just breaking your heart one piece of
yeah,
equipment at a
it
time.
well, it was breaking his heart too. He was like, everyone was just so it was hard because we were trying so hard to make it work, and it was like affecting our family dynamic, and it was affecting like our ourselves. And like as we got older, my sister turned 18, the lead singer, and money got involved, and it was just like hard. Like we weren't making money, and like we didn't want to just live with our parents forever and make music that wasn't going anywhere. And there were so many labels that would like tell us like, "Oh, we want to sign you," and then never signed us. And I think the last straw was the last show we played, and there was an A&R from Atlantic that said that they wanted to sign us, and they came and they were like, "We'll call you," and they never called us. And then I think me and my sisters were like, that was just like the most devastating or one of the most devastating things that happened. So I think that was just the final thing. But yeah, I saw him start to sell the equipment and I was like, I need to say something. I don't know how to bring this up because saying I'm going solo after we all agreed to quit, I don't know how that's gonna go down. So I was really nervous. But I couldn't stop and I wanted to keep going. So I talked to my parents and I said, please, I was like, don't do anything for me. I'm not asking for anything. I want to do this myself, but can I please at least take the piano? And can you please keep my drum set? And I was like, you don't have to keep it in this room. You can put it in storage. I don't have to play on it, but can you just keep it? And can you just give me the keys, like the pianos? And they were like, okay. They were obviously super supportive. They're like, do whatever you want to do. I was so nervous to sing in front of people. I couldn't sing in front of people for a year. So when I say I held myself back, if anything, it was like my own fear, I think, that scared me because I didn't think I was a good singer. I was good enough to sing lead, so I didn't think I was a good singer. And I was singing really quiet on the piano, but I wrote like 50 songs off of four chords, just using the white keys. Not even though I was too scared to touch the black keys because I didn't know, like it was like too much for me. So
You
literally
didn't
just
know
using the
something
white
bad
keys.
would happen if you hit those black keys.
I was just like, no, I just want it to be simple. I was like, I just want to make a song. And so I made so many songs. But I was so shy and I was so nervous. And I kind of hid it from my sisters and I didn't tell them. And I eventually told them. And it was like an awkward conversation, but like they love me and they're my best friends still to this day. And they're doing their own things and they're super supportive.
And did you feel more comfortable singing while behind the kit or out
Yes.
front?
Yes, I did. That was something that for a long time someone had to grab me and like snatch me away from that because as a lead person, it's like I wasn't doing the drums and singing because it was like, oh, look what I could do. I was doing because it was like my safety thing. It was like my drums are my protection and I know I'm good at these. I could play drums with my fucking eyes closed in my sleep because I've been playing for so long. And singing was hard for me. So it was like I was able to kind of feel more confident behind the kit. And everyone's like, we want to like have you up in front. Like you have this swag, you have this thing about you. Like we gotta like have you come up to the front. And I was like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Like I don't want to do that.
What do
Like
I do with my
no,
hands?
right? I don't know. Like for a long time I had a cord in my hand too, so I would always hold the cord out of nervousness too. And now I use a wireless mic and I don't need to do that. But it took me a long time to get comfortable being a lead singer. It was very difficult.
And now do you feel as confident just on
Yes.
the mic as on the drums?
I think so, yeah. I think the drums it just feels easy, and I think the more shows I play, the more my vocals feel easy. I do hit some pretty freaking high notes in my songs, so like there's some ones I gotta like grab my chest for, but I love performing. So I love being in front and I love touching my fans' hands and like getting everyone excited and telling everyone to jump and like I found a love for that like over the years and I think that just built with confidence and also I think that built with finding the right sound for me. Like it took me a long time to find what sound made sense for me and what type of music I wanted to do, and what translated into live music for me. Because I was making pop music for a minute when I went solo, and it didn't translate live. And I was like, this is boring as fuck. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I want to sweat. Like, I want to feel like I was a rock musician growing up. Like that's like was sweating and like blood. Like I had blisters on my hands. Like I don't want to go up there and sing like little pop songs and like it just wasn't for me. So. I finally found something that translated and it made sense. It made that confidence come in, I think, if anything. So,
So we heard from Sunny from POD. Now, just in case you're still not fully recovered from the good times ending from that tour, I have some kind words from Daughtry guitarist Brian Craddock, and he
oh,
says, Cami is a force to be reckoned with. Her commanding and fun presence on stage keeps the audience on their toes and always engaged. Then there's her level of talent. Her voice has a melancholic quality to it, very strong yet equally dreamy. I love it. And what a great drummer as well. I expect amazing things from Cami in the future. I had a blast touring with her and her band, as well as jamming with her on our version of Separate Ways. That's from Brian from
yes.
Daughtry.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Everyone was so nice. Oh my God, that makes me miss tour. I've like tried to like
I'm making
just like
things
come home.
worse. Yeah.
You are.
My bad. My bad.
No, it's okay. I've tried to like tunnel vision as soon as I get home. Actually, as soon as I got home, I got super sick. The flight home, my voice was just gone. I'm like, well, I'm glad it was gone. I didn't have any more shows like to do, so that's good. But I was so sick for like the last 3 days. So I'm still recovering from that a little bit.
Was it a different feeling being on stage on the drums with POD versus being right up front with Daughtry, one of the great
Yes,
rock singers?
there was a difference. As soon as POD asked, well, I played drums with Seether first. And when they asked me to play drums, I was like, done, I'll do it, let's do it.
And that was
Um,
Fake It?
yeah, yeah. I played Fake It with them. Just once, and it was super sick. It was like a surreal moment as well. And then I remember. I can't remember who asked me first, but one of them asked me. I remember when POD asked me, I was like, "Fuck yes, let's do it." When Chris asked me to sing with him, oh, I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I'll do it." I get nervous. Like I think I have a good voice, but I feel like if I struggle with anything, it's confidence in my vocals, I think. Um, but I do like I've learned to love my voice. I just think that stems from just like my past and like gr the way I grew up and stuff. Um, but yeah, it was definitely different because I'm pretty confident when I get behind a kit. And then when it's a song maybe I necessarily haven't practiced or like my set, like I've practiced to the bone. Like I've done like when I rehearse, my band is really like, "Do we have to rehearse again?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like I am like overly rehearsing before I go on tour to make sure I sound perfect. So if it's a song I necessarily haven't rehearsed singing, I'm like very nervous. So I think it took me a couple different tries to work that out with Daughtry and like rehearse that and stuff like that. But it was so worth it. And he had me come out every single night, almost every night. Like he'd be like, "Are you coming out tonight?" And I'm like, "You want me to come out again?" He was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm down."
So I saw Daughtry in concert in Toronto in about 2013, I think, and it was at a venue called the Phoenix, which is maybe 1,000 people, so a pretty intimate show. And then I just saw him this summer. He played our big festival here in Ottawa called Blues Fest, and there's like 30,000 people. So I just saw him a few months ago, and man, that guy's stage presence, his vocal command
Crazy.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, his vocals are insane. One of the best vocalists live I've ever heard, ever.
I remember shortly after he was on Idol, he was on tour opening for Bon Jovi. And there's this famous
Wow.
Bon Jovi quote where Bon Jovi was like, that guy's never going to work a regular job for the rest of his life. Like once Bon
Oh
Jovi saw him, he's
no.
like, this guy's, he's it.
Yeah, his vocals are insane. And he's so sweet and like so down to earth. And like I think there was a moment on tour. that really like I had to grab him and tell him. I was like, I don't know. I can't remember what song. I think it was Antidote or one of the songs he has, and the way he was singing to the crowd and the way this crowd was singing back to him, like I could feel it. Like I could feel that he was like healing people in that moment, and I feel like when you're in it, you tend to just like be in it, like Chris, and he's singing and he's singing, focusing on other things, but stepping away and like looking at that connection with the crowd and him, like I like went up to him and I was like, "Yo, you are making a huge impact on like these people tonight and like every show, like which is so like important to me because I feel like I make music, I love making music, I can't stop making music, but." I have a bigger purpose of wanting to heal people and help people through my songs and make them feel good and like make them help them go through a breakup or go through a divorce or whatever they may be going through. And seeing another artist do that is like not only so inspiring but so like incredible because I feel like that's not common anymore. Like singing with intent and purpose and passion and like Chris definitely has that and I think it's super inspiring and I was like honored to go on tour with and be by his side and be up there with him singing. So.
And at the show he just did here a few months ago, he brought out his daughter for an acoustic duo, and it
Oh,
sounded like it was the very first time that she had gone on stage with him. So
oh my
I filmed it, so
God.
I captured this moment that was it was
Wow.
pretty memorable and touching.
That's super cute. Yeah, he's super sweet. I met his daughter, I think, on tour too. So,
Let's dive into your solo career. Was it 2020 when you officially started on the solo career?
yes.
Just
Yeah.
waiting for a global pandemic to kick off your career.
Honestly, it was like I was making so much music, and then a bunch of it was so funny because I went solo and then people were coming out of the woodworks being like, "Oh, I can help you be this famous person or whatever." And like they're like, "You're like a Taylor Swift." And I was like, okay, like whatever, I'm down. I was solo, so I didn't know what to do, and I had zero confidence. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll roll with you, and you could mentor me or whatever, and produce for me, and we could make a song. And we did it, and I was like, this is not me. So left that person. Then another collective came along and was like, you're like this folk, like R&B kind of thing, and I was like, okay, I could do it. Like I could do any genre, so let's go. And that didn't work. Moved on from that. Then another person came along and said I was like hip hop and I could do like R&B hip hop, like some not like super rap stuff, more like singing rap, like Russ or like Mac Miller and stuff like that. And so I loved it. So I was like, I'm down. I could do it. Did that. Didn't feel like me. And I was like, fuck all of these people, like respectfully. Like, thank you for trying to help me. But I was like, I need to sit in a room and figure out who I am and what I want to do and what I'm trying to say. Like what does Cammy Kehoe sound like? Not my old band. Not like what do I want to sound like or what inspires me, like what do I sound like? Um and I just did every genre. And I was genreless for a long time. So I did pop, folk, I did a country song, I did a Spanish song, I have a whole R&B album I'm sitting on. It's great. They're all great. Like I love them all. I
A
think
bunch
rock
of
just
bangers on there we're
yeah,
waiting to hear.
I think so. I think if anything, like I was always like, there's definitely some hidden gems that I'm holding on to, but I could always flip them and make them into a rock song. And I always say a song is good at its core. So if I could sing it and play on a guitar and it's a good song, doesn't matter what genre it is. I can grab my vocals now and I can put it over an R&B beat or R&B production, a rock production, folk production, pop, it doesn't matter. Like a good song at its core, it's like you could just add whatever to it, I feel.
So when you said you weren't quite sure what you wanted to do musically at the start of your solo career and people are coming out of the woodworks with ideas, it reminds me of the quote where it's something like, if you don't have a vision for your own life, you just get sucked into someone else's vision for what they
Yeah.
think your life should be.
Yep. Yeah. But my soul didn't want that. Like I feel like I've always been like I've had this like leader mentality to say that in the most not cocky way ever, but I hated following rules and like following structure and following what people told me they think I should do because my soul craves something like different and like strong and like I've always wanted to be a strong female presence for young girls to look up to and I think I'm starting to become that, which is awesome. So,
So in 2023, you release the debut full-length album Drama Queen. What thoughts, what are you laughing at?
It's just funny. It's just like an old version of me, so I just laugh. It's cute. It's cute.
Well, let's talk about it. We're working our way up to the current day
Yeah,
congruent, confident Cami, right?
that is
We're
true. That is
there's a
true.
story here, and we can all take lessons from this journey. So
Yes.
the album comes out. What thoughts, memories, emotions come back to you now when you think back to that album that really kickstarted the journey you've been on since then?
Drama Queen was an interesting album. I think it showed me it pointed me in the direction I was supposed to be going in. I would say that. I loved Drama Queen. I produced most of that album myself. I recorded all the vocals in my room, in my parents' room in Vegas. Or I lived with my parents in my room in Vegas. And I remember I had a couple of producers try co-produce some of the stuff. And I wanted to be a multi-genre artist. I was with an old management company that I'm no longer with anymore. We had different views on things. I think that it was a good match, but during that time, I remember being like, I am a multi-genre artist, and um, that's the vision I want to go for. Like no one else is a multi-genre artist. I want to go in that lane. And my manager at the time was like, you can't do that. You
It's hard
can't
hard to
because
market that, right? When
yeah,
people
right,
can't
right.
put a label on it.
100%. So it's like, well, how are we going to market that? You can't put it in a playlist. You can't put that in a genre. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, fuck, you're right. You're right. I can go alt. So I could say I'm alt, or I could say I'm pop, and I could throw a bunch of genres in there. So I kind of just picked one. I picked pop. And so I was like, I'm not going to tell her technically. I'm just going to just do it. I'm just going to like put a bunch of different stuff in there and just call it pop. And no one's going to know the fucking difference. And they didn't know the difference, which was great. So it was a pretty pop album, but it had elements of different genres in there. Like I Love You Baby on that album was like super R&B, soulful, and then Loaded Gun was kind of rock, and I wanted like a rock section there. Same with Hate Yourself or Hate Your Fucking Self. I'm trying not to cuss, sorry. Um, but what I noticed with that album was the whole concept of the album was funny to me because I went through a lot of my stuff is about breakups and relationships. That's just like what like makes me write the hardest, I guess. But I was dating somebody and they had called me a drama queen, or I was being dramatic, or I was being like this about something that I didn't feel like I felt like was valid to get upset over. Um, and so I wrote a whole album about it. So it's very Taylor Swift of me. So don't piss me off. Not write a whole album
It's
about
funny
you.
they say a musician or a songwriter's pain and heartbreak is everyone else's entertainment, essentially.
Wow, yes, that's very true.
I think if someone listened to your newest single and your newest EP and then listened to this debut album, I think it's a totally different sound. Like you can hear that it's you, but it sounds like an artist that's still discovering who they are and
For
their
sure.
genre. So I think it's a very strong debut. Like what matters is the songs are awesome. They're
Thank
just
you.
in a more of a pop genre versus some of
Yeah,
the new stuff is like really heavy.
it is really heavy, and I want to keep getting heavier, but I want to stay me still. Like, I've never been like a super metal head, or I've never really listened to like metal music. I love all genres. Like, I think if you show me a good metal song, I'll be like, yes, this is amazing. But I definitely want to stay in the lane where I feel like it feels like it's me. But yeah, that was like Drama Queen was me figuring out who I was. And that was me kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. And so when I watched the songs on what songs did the best on the album, it was more the rock leaning songs. So I was like, interesting. And it's funny because I would go and play live and I was wearing like all leather or leather jackets and I looked like I'd made rock music and everyone's like, oh, you make rock? And I was like, no. I was like, I make all genres. And they were like, okay. So it was just funny because everything in my body and my soul was like, do rock music and I just didn't do it and it just wasn't popular and I was so scared to go back there because I just did that for like 10 years and it didn't work and I so badly wanted it to work. I didn't want to just like I love making music and but I needed to make money and I wanted it to be a career and I wanted to make something out of myself and not just be a musician that lived with their parents and made music all the time. Like not to shit on anybody that does that. I'm just saying it's not where I wanted my life to go. So, um, yeah, Drama Queen was definitely a moment in time.
The three most popular songs are Emotionally Unavailable, Loaded Gun, and Hate Your Effing Self.
Yeah.
All three of those have over 2 million plays on Spotify. Why do you think people love those three songs the most? Is it just because they're the most rock? And maybe it's people nowadays that know you for the rock. Those are the songs they're going back to resonate with?
I think even before when Rock wasn't in, those were the ones that were blowing up. Emotionally
Okay.
Unavailable was the very first song I released as a solo artist. I think that's why that has the most views. I also think it's a good song. It's like pretty pop and R&B. It's cute. Um, that one I actually like that song. Loaded Gun, I think people like because that song is very specific. Um, which is funny because I say it's specific, but so many people relate to it, and which is sad. But I say like a lyric in there like I know you liked me more at 17. The less I know, the better, because you like them more naive. It was about a situation where someone maybe older was taking advantage of somebody younger, which is sad. It shouldn't be a thing, and it shouldn't. I hate that multiple people relate to that. But when I wrote that lyric, I was like, I can't say this. This is fucked up. Like, it's too specific. Like, in another line, I said, "You're 27 and can't handle your liquor," and this was about my ex, and I was just like going off. It was like a whole diss track. So to me, it was getting my shit out, like my anger out, and I didn't think anyone was gonna relate to it. And then I remember teasing on TikTok, and people were like, "Oh my God, this is like my exact situation." And I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Do we all date the same person?" I was like, I'm so confused. So,
Even though it's very specific, it's about a specific moment that kind of universally people have
right,
experienced.
right. It was so interesting. So I think that's why that song did super well. And then "Hate Yourself" is probably my most gut-wrenching song on that project. And I think, well, Near Death I love too. It's actually a ballad, but "Hate Yourself." I produced fully by myself, which I think I hold some pride in. And then I love that it's one of the most popular ones. That song, I was like super angry, and I think a lot of people relate to it just because the lyrics are relatable and it's about a heartbreak. And yeah.
Are you a sucker for a good ballad like I am?
Yes. I started off making ballads. So literally when I was 16 on the piano, I was just making like ballads, like Adele ballads, sad ass
Just
shit.
on the white keys.
Yep, just on the white keys, yeah.
They make the best ballads, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I love ballads. That's like my favorite. I don't know if I could say this, but I'm gonna say it anyways because fuck it. I have like a semi rock ballad coming out before Valentine's Day this year, or yeah, next year.
Next year, I guess.
Next year, yeah,
Breaking news.
yeah,
The song Funhouse has really catchy bass riffs, and then the song Love Songs Volume 1, the chorus has such a good groove.
yeah.
When you play Love Songs Volume 1 live, do fans dance like crazy, or is that song so different that you can't fit it into the heavier stuff today?
I don't. I'm gonna be so real. I don't play any of my stuff from Drama Queen.
How dare you?
I know.
What about us day oneers, you
I
know?
know. I know. I should. I should. But I just don't. And I don't even play stuff from my last album, Revived. I only play Save It I'm Dead. Oh, and Something in the Water. I do
I
play
was
that
gonna
one.
say you gotta do something in
Yeah.
the water. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? You just don't connect with those songs anymore? Or is it because they're too poppy that they wouldn't fit quite right? You could make them all heavier, man. Throw
I
some distortion on those bad boys.
I'm sure I could. I think Love Songs is way too funk to try and make work. Like, or way too like has a weird bass line groove. But um I don't know. I feel like when I don't love playing old songs. I like when I make a new song, I get obviously it's every artist, they get excited about their new shit. And like everyone's like, your old stuff is so good. Um But I try to play the ones like are the most listened to. So like on my Spotify, like whatever's the most popular, I'll end up playing those ones.
But also, you just came off that 2 or 3 month tour. When you're the first of four, you don't have the longest set. So, like, you
Yeah,
really
no.
have to pick the most popular or the
Yeah.
newest versus, I'm sure you're going to start doing some headlining shows where you have an hour and a half. At that point, can us fans request some earlier
Yeah.
songs? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. When I do a headline and have like an hour set, yes, I'll throw in an old one for sure. Yeah, I only have a 25-minute set on that last run. So it was like I gotta get out there, impress everybody in here that doesn't know who I am. That was my goal. So I was like, let me pick my hardest songs, my coolest songs, my most popular songs, and like I was just trying to impress people.
We've heard from members of POD We've heard from members of Daughtry. All that's missing for the Holy Trinity, the Holy Trifecta, is members of Seether. So I have some kind words from Seether guitarist Corey Lowry.
Yes.
And Corey says, this guy's a legend. He says, Cami is a super talented singer and drummer. She connects with fans and is a workaholic throughout the day on tour with her social media. We are
That's
rooting
true.
for her. So that's from Corey.
Oh, I love Corey. Corey was so funny and fun the entire tour. So that's awesome. Yeah, I was editing a lot on tour. So I'd be in the green room before sound check editing. Corey would come in and be like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Editing." Like the post I have to post today and tomorrow. Like, so it just never stopped, which is awesome. I love editing. It doesn't bother me.
But also your social media. I mean, you have over 1 million followers on TikTok. You have over 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. You have over 1 million followers on Instagram. That means you're doing something right on social media. So it's a good thing that you're working like crazy on the social media because it's obviously paying off. And
Yeah.
even though a lot of times you hear musicians say, "Oh, I just want to focus on music." It's like, well, how are you going to get people to hear that music?
Yeah, that's something I had to definitely get over. I think being a musician at such a young age when social media wasn't a thing, I carried some pride in that. I had some ego, and I was like, I'm not using fucking social media. Like, I'm a real artist. I'm not a TikTok artist. Like, I was very much like, no, 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 not happening. Um, and it started to really piss me off when I would see people blow up on TikTok and which is probably not nice, but they just started making music and I was like, damn it, I've been doing this shit forever. And I was like, but the only person that was stopping me from getting there was myself. And like that's why I said that earlier. I was like, yeah, I've had people that have tried to knock me down and haters and people told me like I'm not gonna make it and whatever. But the worst person that has been probably the meanest to myself was probably me. And being like, oh no, you're not good enough and like you can't do it and no, people are gonna think you're stupid and cringe and like don't post that video, like you look weird and like my head it was just like horrible. And so I literally had to push past it and be like, yo, if you don't do this, no one's gonna hear you. And if you want to be heard, and if you want to make a difference, and if you want to change the world, and you want to make music, and you have all these goals, no one's gonna hear you because everyone's like this all day on their phone, even myself. So it's like I had to just rip off the band-aid and do it. And I tried so many different things. And I remember when I first started posting, it was like I tried like using my phone and being like, "Hey guys, this is my new song and song of the summer," and like whatever, like the stuff I literally couldn't stand. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I finally found my niche, my what felt good for me, what felt authentic for me. Ended up working out the best, which was playing and singing, and that's what popped off first was my drum video. So
So let's talk about that. So 2024, you released the next album, Revive. This is your second studio album. This came
yes.
out just a year after the other one. I can't knock the hustle. Is it true? Is it true that at some points you were writing like a song a day?
Oh yeah. Well, I always write every day, or especially back then I was writing. I had a session every single day besides Sundays, especially for that last album. I was just trying. I was trying new producers. I finally got in the industry last year. So Drama Queen I was in my room. I was in Vegas. So I didn't know anybody. So I was using Splice samples and hitting up producers on Instagram and using YouTube beats and asking people to flip them and um but for Revived, I moved to LA, and my management at the time put me in a bunch of different sessions with a bunch of rock producers that produced like crazy people, and this was new for me. I'd never been in sessions before. I never worked with writers. Like so, yeah, I was in a session like just every day, and I loved it. And like that didn't feel like work for me. So people were like, "Give yourself a break. You're gonna get jaded," and I was like, "I'm not gonna stop until I feel like I'm jaded," and I haven't stopped. So like,
So this
yeah.
album sounds like a good bridge between the debut album and the newest EP, where it's
Yes.
starting to sound like the newer stuff, but there's still some of the pop elements from the first
Yeah.
album. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think like it's so funny looking at, I've always wanted to take down old stuff because maybe it's not perfect or I'm embarrassed or whatever. I'm glad I left it up because it shows the journey and the evolution to what my music is going to become, especially this next album I'm working on. And so, yeah, I think Revived, I wanted to make a rock album, because Sleep When I'm Dead did really well. And I was like, I don't care what type of rock, because I was still stuck in my, I'm not in a box, I'm genreless. I wanted to do all types of rock. So there's like a bunch of different rock genres in that album that's like rock, if that makes sense. So there's like some harder songs, some shoegaze songs. There's like Tequila and Cocaine, which is like almost country, but it's like not. Like Room 43 is similar. It's like very Fleetwood Mac, like I would say organic. That's the way I would say those two songs are to me. It's like Room 43 and Tequila and Cocaine are organic. And then Please Don't Cry has like some hip hop in there a little bit towards the end. Um, Dirt Dirt, Something in the Water, and Sorry are leaning closer to Candy, I think.
So the debut album sound like the drums were programmed, and then this album sounds like live drums. Are you playing drums on this album?
I'm playing drums on every song I've released.
Okay.
There's live drums on everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, you can definitely hear from the debut where it sounds a little more electronic with
Yeah.
the drums, and then this album sounds like an actual drummer is playing, and you get more of
Yeah.
that rock drum vibe.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning more towards finding the happy medium between the electronic modern sound and the rock sound because I enjoy both. Like as a I wanted to I released Revived and I loved it, but like it's not songs I would listen to. So I wanted to make music that I would listen to. And so when I make Candy, I feel like that fit a nice happy medium of modern stuff I would listen to and rock. Um, so it leans a little bit more electronic, I think.
The song Die For You is awesome. Do you think that being an awesome drummer and hopping on the drum kit during your concerts and appearing on your drum kit in a lot of your social media posts, do you think that that's like your superpower? Like it helps you stand out from other singer-songwriters?
Yes, I do. I definitely think it's like like people are like, oh, that's the drummer girl. And that doesn't offend me. I am a drummer, so I don't give a shit. But yeah, I definitely think it helps me stand out from the rest. I eventually there was a point too in Revived when I was rolling out that album where everyone just saw me as the drummer girl, as the Sleep When I'm Dead drummer girl. And so I remember my management being like, "Oh, we gotta separate that somehow. We gotta find a way because you're a good vocalist." And um, I think that's finally coming to life, especially with Dopamine. And a lot of these and hopefully Fade Out just released, but I'm getting so much good feedback with my vocals on that, which is crazy because in that song specifically, I lost my voice. So I was actually making Candy, the EP, and I sang doubles on Candy and I like screamed because we were trying something, which was stupid because I mean, I can kind of scream, but like I can't scream correctly, okay? So,
You can scream, but there'll be consequences afterwards.
yeah, but I didn't think about it. And so we were kind of done with the EP, so I was like, whatever. So, I screamed and I blew up my voice. And that never happens to me. I like never blow up my voice. And so I was like, wow, I actually blew that shit out. And the next day I hit up Kurt because we lived like 8 minutes away from each other and I was bored and I was like, I want to make a song. Actually, a couple days later because I was going through something, I was like crashing out and I called my mom and she had helped me and I was like, I need to write a song. That's what I need to do. So I went to the studio. We were at Fade Out, but my voice was gone. And so all that rasp and that squeakiness that everyone's like, you're rasping this song. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, my voice was shot. But like I could do that more like the more I practice it, it's like I can build rasp up and stuff, which is awesome. But yeah, I think people really are loving the vocals in this song, which is sick.
This episode has been brought to you by the Women in the Music Industry podcast. It's hosted by music producer Rob Wells, who has worked with global superstars like Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, and Selena Gomez. Through his 1 hour interviews, he shines a spotlight on the remarkable women who are breaking barriers and making their mark in the music industry. Some of his notable guests include Morgan Lander of the multi-million selling metal band Kitty, and Pam Shane, who co-wrote Genie in a Bottle for Christina Aguilera. If you're a fan of the Joel Martin Mastery podcast, you'll love the Women in the Music Industry podcast, which is available on all platforms. So, Sleep When I'm Dead was kind of the big breakout single, the big viral moment. Can you share how that song went viral?
Sleep When I'm Dead.
Yeah.
Um, I was in Vegas at the time, and I remember showing my management. I had two songs. It was La La Land, which is out, and Sleep When I'm Dead. And I was like, Sleep When I'm Dead needs to come out. It's a fucking smash. And I was like, and I think people are gonna like it. And my management was like, no, it's too rock. I don't agree. I don't think it's gonna be good. And I was like, I don't really care what you say. I'm still gonna release it, like respectfully. And so I did, and I'm glad I did because it fucking blew up. So I started. This is what happened actually, because I didn't just start filming drum singing videos. I played a show, and I played Sleep When I'm Dead, and I sang it and played it at the same time. So I was drumming and singing that song. And my videographer Noah Castro at the time filmed that show, and he's filming me, and that video kind of goes viral, but like not really. But I was like, that's interesting. It like
Like
kind
a
of
few
made
thousand
yeah, it
plays,
made a
like just more
dent.
than normal.
Yeah, I just noticed it made a dent, and I don't really go viral like that. So like I was like, oh my God, this did something. What are people commenting? What is gravitating people towards this? It was the drumming and the singing, and so I was like, interesting. I gotta play more shows, and I gotta play this song more times. And I was like, fuck, that's a lot of work. I was like, to fucking book shows in Vegas and get the band together, and like that's just a lot of extra work. So then I was like thinking, I was like, why don't I just set up my drum kit and lip sync and set up my mic and pretend like I'm playing live? Like I'll just do that. And I did that. And I think the first video I filmed was like outside, in like my neighborhood with a drum kit. And I started working with this guy named Dazavi, and he started filming all these videos for me. And we would just go every day, every other day, or at least twice a week. We would go out somewhere downtown, in my neighborhood, in someone's garage, in underneath a tunnel, and carry my drum set that I've had since I was 13, by the way. The same drum kit that I had since I was a kid, I've had since last year because SJC finally I worked with SJC and I got my own kit, which is like the first kit I ever got myself, which is crazy. But um my same acrylic kit that I've had since I was 13, I was hauling it around, beat up, like it was just like not playable anymore. I couldn't play that shit live. And we were just playing, and people would come and watch, and they were like, "What is this girl doing? This is so weird." Now every video. So I think in total, I think we shot over a hundred of those for Sleep When I'm Dead. Um, and I remember there was these two videos that I was like, oh, I don't feel like I look good in this. Like I'm like very like I like to look a certain way. So I was like, I don't know, I don't love the way I look. And I was not gonna post those. And I was like, fuck, I don't have any more content. I was trying to post every single day. So I posted them, and then all of a sudden, it was like 50,000 views, and I was like, oh my God, it's going viral. 100,000. I was like, oh my God, 800,000, a million, 12 million, 20 million. And I was like, oh my God. Like, as soon as that video hit 20 mil, it was game over. I went from 17,000 followers to like 800,000 followers in like the span of 3 months.
Yeah, you were gaining like 100,000 followers a day at some
It
point.
was terrifying. I was like, and then pe it was so crazy because people were like, "You're buying followers." I said, "I'm not. I swear to God, I'm not. Look at my Instagram. I had to like post my analytics, like 'cause, like people were saying I was buying followers, and I was like, if I wanted to buy followers, I would have done it a long motherfucking time ago. Like I didn't do it. Like I was, it was just blowing up, and two videos that I didn't think were gonna do well ended up hitting 20 million views or something like that, 15 million, 20 million, something like that, and it blew the song up, and it was super gnarly. And then I just kept posting videos, and people obviously got super annoyed, but I just kept doing it.
That song would go on to have 20 million plays on Spotify. Is that how do you grasp? So that song itself has 20 million plays. Your music as a whole has over 70 million plays just on Spotify. So
I
who
didn't even
knows,
know that.
you know,
That's crazy.
YouTube and Apple, like these are different metrics. Just Spotify, 70 million. That's like double the population of Canada. Like when you try to think of the amount of people, how do you try to
Yeah.
grasp numbers that big?
I don't. I literally like I think when I think about it, it freaks me out. So like I obviously am so appreciative and I value every single follower and every single stream and every single listen. And if I can give every single person a hug, I would because like of the support and I appreciate it. But grasping like the fact that I can reach that amount of people in that short of time, I don't think is normal or I don't think it should be a thing, but that's just the world we live in and that's social media and that's terrifying. Um, but I think I value real face-to-face connections with my fans and listeners. And like when I see them, they're like, I've been listening to music for like the last 2 years. And I'm like, oh my God, I love you. Like, thank you. Like they say like my music helped them get through a divorce or helped them get through something. And like I get that a lot. And like that's what I release it for. Because I say I make music because I literally can't physically stop making music. And like if I had a job that would pay me all the money in the world, I wouldn't have to worry about money. Money was an issue. I would just make music and keep it to myself, right? If I just enjoyed making music. But I release it because I have purpose to try and help others as well. Because my music helps me. It's like therapy. That Candy EP like helped me through my breakup. I was like down bad going through it. And I remember, and Kurt as well, not to blast out his shit, he was going through a divorce. So him and I were both like crying in the studio and making these songs, and that's also why I feel like that EP is so powerful. Just because both of us were just like going through it, um, and it helped us. By the end of the EP, the last song was like our let go song. It was like we're letting go of this, like it's done, like we're not gonna isn't gonna have power over us anymore. Like we're good,
Is
and
that Come Down?
yes, it is come down. That was like the last little bit. So um, yeah, it's crazy.
When you said Down Bad, it made me think of the Taylor Swift song Down Bad. That's the first time I ever heard the term Down Bad was from that song, which is my favorite song on that album. I think that's the Dead
I love
Poet.
that.
What is it? The Poet Department? What is her album
I
called?
honestly don't know. I don't really listen to this one. I love her though, but I don't really
Yeah.
listen to her.
Anyways, so because of Taylor Swift, I know what you're talking about when you say Down Bad now.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Okay.
maybe I'll cut that part out of the interview. No, we'll leave it in there.
No, that's good. It's good.
There's a song called Room 43 on the album.
Yeah.
What is Room 43? Where is Room 43? Give me the deets.
Oh my God, I love these questions. Room 43 I wrote when um it's like about a hypochondriac, that song. It's like when you think everything's out to get you and like it's like the walls are caving in and things bad are happening and it was kind of just about going crazy. And so when I pictured Room 43, I pictured like an insane asylum, like a room.
Is there a
Um,
real Room 43 or is this fiction?
it's fiction, but I went to go shoot a video, and in the middle of nowhere, somewhere, there's a wooden or a wood shed that has a sign I painted and said Room 43 on it. It's somewhere. If someone wants to go find it. I don't know
So now
where.
it's a real location.
Yeah, between Vegas and California, it's somewhere over there.
We're gonna send the fans out on a
Yeah.
treasure hunt or whatever.
Okay, be careful because
You
it
should
is
put like a
dangerous.
download stick with an unreleased song in that location for people to find.
Wow, that's actually really sick. I don't even know where it is though. So,
Okay,
damn.
that's funny. The song Young Forever, is that you that's playing the old lady in that music video?
Yes, that is me. That is me.
Was that was that a fun day of filming?
That was so fun. I love like since I've been a kid, I love dressing up and just being stupid and like especially dressing up like not cute. Like every year for Halloween, I'm not dressed up cute. I want to dress up funny and ugly and I want to like look like crazy and yeah, the old lady thing was super freaking funny and I would definitely do it again. So,
And was it nice to not have to like do your makeup and your hair? You could just throw this outfit on.
yes, it was so great. It was honestly great.
It reminds me of like the Jackass movies where Johnny
Yeah,
Knoxville dresses up
everyone
like an
said
old man.
that. Yeah, it's so good. It was so funny.
The song Something in the Water, that's my favorite song from that album.
Thank you.
And I've had the chorus stuck in my head for the last week. Like I literally wake up and I'm singing something in the water, and it just
Really?
for some reason it's just stuck in there. I feel like it's the perfect last song on that album because it's an awesome transition to the EP. Like that
Yeah.
song sounds like you could move it to the first song of the EP and it
Yeah.
would still fit.
Yeah. For sure. I definitely agree. I wrote that with Jutes and Keith Sorellis. I don't know if you know Jutsis. He's like a rock artist. He's super cool. Yeah, I love that one. I think that one's sick. That was about the music industry and being so close yet so far and asking people, is it really what it seems like over there? Like, is it really um all glamorous and what it's like what I've been dreaming of, I guess. I think that was like my first year of being actually in the industry and hearing people's stories and meeting other musicians and meeting writers and hearing horror stories. And I'm like, wow, it is not cracked up what I thought it was going to be over here. But um, it's just the career path I chose. So
What advice do you wish people gave you about the music industry in advance? Like now that you've been in it and having success for a few years, is there anything you wish people had told you to prepare you for it?
I feel like this. My parents have always taught me to keep my side of the street clean and always be a good person because things come back and karma's real. And I didn't realize how small the industry was, I think. And I think people, not that no one needed to tell me that because I feel like I'm always pretty nice to everybody. And, um, but the industry is just small. And I think everyone talks and everyone knows about you. And I think, that's interesting to me. It's not like, it's just something to know. It's not anything, it's just something to be aware of. Like, be careful what you say in rooms and things can come back. And, um, yeah, it's just small. It's big, but it's small. So it's hard to explain. When people say they're like the industry, like it's huge. There's so many artists, and I'm like, yes, there's so many artists, but
Yeah,
there's
but
only
they're all
so many.
connected.
Yeah,
Like
there's only
people have
so many.
worked together, they've toured
Yeah,
together, they've been in
yes,
bands
yeah.
together, they've co-written
Yeah,
together.
lawyers all know each other. Lawyers know the managers. Managers know the lawyers. They know the label. They know the yeah. Session players all know each other, and so it's like a whole. Be nice to your crew. Be nice to everybody. Like just always treat people right, regardless. If you think it's gonna come back and bite you in the ass, just do it because you should do that. But it's very small. So
Yeah, I mean, it if I went and got these quotes and they were like, she's a jerk, she sucks, right? Like
yeah,
you made it
right,
easy
right.
on me that everyone has something nice to say. So
Okay.
that's the karma coming back from just being a good person and
Yeah, I think I got raised correctly, so I grew up with really great parents and shout out to them and they've taught me how to be a good person and to be nice to everybody and so unconditionally, like with nothing in return, just to just be a good person. There's a lot of bad in the world, so I think the least thing I could do is be nice. So
my parents had two rules when we were growing up. It was be a good person and get good grades. That was like if you could do those two things, you might be okay in this life.
yeah, I definitely didn't get good grades, but I definitely was a good person. So
That's why that's number one. That's more important.
yeah, yeah.
We have a fan question from Austin Clark. His question is, if you could only choose three bands or artists that would best represent your life as the soundtrack, what would you pick and why?
Oh my God, that's really
So
good.
not it's not, hey, you can only listen to three artists for the rest of
It's
your
like my
life.
movie
It's there's
soundtrack.
a movie, it's your life documentary, what music and why? This
Okay,
is tough. I
definitely.
told him this is a tough question,
Yeah,
but I'll
this is
ask him.
really hard. Definitely Cage the Elephant, 100%, because there's so many songs in there that I feel like have changed my life. Like I've been in like pivotal moments in my life and th those songs I've played and it felt like a soundtrack. So I would say Cage the Elephant for sure. I would also say Mac Miller, but then it means I have one more left. Fuck. Damn it. Hold on. This is hard. Mac Miller is the same, and I say that because there's been multiple instances or experiences I've had in my life, and Mac Miller plays, and I'm like, and I hear a lyric he says, and I'm like, damn, you're right, bro, you're right. Like same with Cage the Elephant. It's just like I feel like it's a, it's like spiritual in a way, but
I feel like Joan Jett would capture your spirit.
yeah, I think yeah, I think it's gonna be Joan Jett. I don't know what album specifically, but if I could say their whole catalogs, I can't pick an album. So everyone's catalog, I would say Cage the Elephant, Joan Jett, Mac Miller. Hopefully, I'm not missing someone that's huge that I could think of right now, but um, I think those are the three. Joan Jett would definitely capture my spirit for sure.
So as we continue to move through your discography, in March of 2025, you released the single Safe House. You've talked a little bit about it. This was released for charity. So you donated all the royalties to those impacted by the California wildfires. How did this come together, and why was it important to you to help out?
This all came together very weird. I had no manager at the time. I had just got off of another tour I was on. My album just came out, and I was like, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't with a label. I wasn't with anybody. I was independent, and I was trying for a long time to find a new manager. Um, then the fires happened, and not like very. I felt like I just got back from tour, and the fires happened. It was super strange, but it was like traumatic. And I remember this is my first time living alone, in LA. And I'm pretty close with my family and I didn't feel safe and I was like terrified. Um, and I remember like stepping out of my house and the sky was like red and I was like, ugh, like I'm so sensitive. Like I was fine, but there's a lot of people that weren't fine. And I think that killed me. And I was like, I wish I was a superhero so I can go around and fly and pick up all these people from the fucking burning homes. And like it was just like really traumatic. And so I remember driving, my parents live in Vegas, so as soon as I saw the fires started to happen, I saw a circle started to form on the map with the fires, and I was like, I'm out of here. I can't be here. If my place burns down, it burns down. I need to leave though. So I left, and a lot of people fled and went either down more by the beach or to Vegas. And so Kyle Hewlett, who is now my manager, we were mutuals on Instagram. And we were mutuals because I had met him previous because he mentioned he was a manager, but we never like connected fully. And I saw he posted with a group of people, musicians, that they were all in Vegas, and I was on my way to Vegas. So me being the workaholic that I wanted to go make a song while I was there, I was like, "Hey, like, do you guys have a studio? Or are you guys like making music? Or, like, what are you guys doing?" And so, which is weird because I never hung out with him, so I was like, "Is this weird to hit him up?" But I did anyways because I was like, "Fuck it." And he was like, "Yeah, we're actually making music right now at Echo, this artist's studio." I've never met any of these people. So I was like, "Okay, I'll come by." And it's on the other side of town. But I drove over there and I met with them. We all hung out and I met Kyle and he manages Colorblind and I think he kind of manages Echo. I don't really know, but he manages Kurt. And I was like watching the way he was managing everybody and I honestly liked it. So I thought that's how he ended up being my manager. Because same thing I did with Kurt. I was like, I like how you work. I'm gonna work with you. And the same with Kyle. Um, but yeah, we ended up chilling in the studio and we were all talking about how like traumatic and scary everything is. And obviously everyone's like feeling emotional and we were like, "Do you guys want to write a song?" And I was like, "Is it too soon to write about the fires?" I was like, "We're all like feeling that's like the strongest emotion we're all feeling right now. Like, why don't we could pull from it and write about it?" And they were like, "Okay." And I was like, "But can we write about it in a way where it doesn't necessarily talk about the fires so specifically? Like, can it also be like if I listen to this 5 years from now and I was going through a heartbreak, can it relate to me?" Like, I was trying to, I love to keep my songs universal. So anything I write, I want it to be able to relate to a girl, a guy, someone that just got out of a breakup, someone that just lost a relationship with a family member, someone that lost somebody in their life. Like, I don't want it to ever be so specific, and obviously some songs are specific, but for Safe House, like I felt like it was pretty universal. But yeah, we ended up writing the song super quick, finished it in one day, and it was like fast. And we all recorded vocals there, and we left. And I remember Kyle being like, "What if we gave the royalties to a charity for the fires?" And everyone was like, "Yep, 100%." It wasn't even like a thought. It was not like we want the royalties to ourselves. It was like, I don't give a shit. Like, go. Like, give it to whoever needs it. Like, so yeah, it was a super cool, like, wholesome moment. And it is also awesome because that's how I met Kurt and Kyle. So,
It sounds like serendipity. Even though you created that moment by reaching out, it feels like it's kind of this moment in time that happened where you were going there, they were already there, and it just
yeah.
all worked out, not just for the song, but you met a producer there, your
Yeah.
producer there, you met your manager there.
Yeah.
The
It was
dream team was
crazy.
waiting for you there.
No, that's so funny. And literally, it was like a safe house, and like everyone was hibernating there, and it was like so crazy. I met everyone, and now I work with all of them, so it's super cool.
The only thing better than hearing some kind words from a member of POD is hearing kind words from two members of POD. So this is from Zachary
Oh,
Christopher,
yeah.
the drummer from POD.
I
And he
love that.
says, when I found out we were touring together, I was stoked. I had seen Cammy's videos circulating on the internet. There's the power of your social media. He says,
Yeah.
we had so many friends in common. We're both from Vegas and both drummers. First time we met, it was an absolute no brainer. We clicked and became instant homies. There's a fire inside that girl, and it was amazing to watch every night. She wasn't your average one of four opener. She came in polished and owned that stage like an absolute professional. She hopped up with us to play Youth of the Nation a couple times, and it was just so awesome to sit back and watch her rip. I can't wait to see Kiki, KK, our little sister, rip arenas in her future. It's going to happen. A true rock star. That's from Zachary Christopher,
Oh my
POD.
God, I love him. He was so awesome, and he was just like everyone was so awesome. Wow, these are so nice. I was not expecting that. That's so sweet. Oh my God, I love that.
And it's awesome because he actually has to step aside for you to be able to play that song. So that takes
Hmm.
someone that's like, yeah, man, let her
I
do her thing,
know, I
and you got to
know.
be supportive to do that and not have an
I
ego.
hate kicking the drummers off. I feel bad. I'm a drummer, but I had to kick my drummer off my set. I'm like, okay, Benzo. But I feel bad. I love him. He's also my drummer's cooked. He's so freaking good. Like insane drummer. What I mean cooked. I think cooked means bad. I mean cracked. He's so good. But yeah. And Zach's amazing too. So it was an honor to play his kit and have him like he's like behind me like drumming like this. He's like, it's this part. And I was like, okay, cool.
You
So
have your own person directing everything. It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So in July of this year, 2025, you released the Candy EP. So we've talked a little bit about this stuff along the way, but now we're going to
Yeah.
focus on it. So 5 song EP. Does this EP now feel like you've reached the full expression of yourself as a musician? Like you have the clear vision of who you are, what your sound is, what you're working towards?
Yes and no, because I feel like it's always going to change. I'm always going to find something I want different or new, but I do think vocally, um, I have like locked into a certain type of sound with my voice. I think I truly found my voice with this EP. Um, Sound sonically could always change, so I never want to be like, oh, this is like what I feel like it's going to be f for X amount of time because definitely the next album I'm working on is a lot like the EP. Very electronic, cool, dark, heavy, emotional, all of that. But there's stuff in the back of my head that I want to do in the future, like a Fleetwood Mac kind of album or like something that's like completely different. So it's like it's always gonna change, but I think vocally I think I found my sound.
And how has the reception been so far since July for the EP?
So good. It was awesome. I did not know what to expect when I started making candy. But I started teasing it before it came out and it started doing really well. And I was like, whoa. Every song I posted went viral besides I didn't post Come Down because I was like, I can't post all the songs. I gotta like make him get a surprise for at least one. But I ended up teasing all of them, besides Come Down, and they all went viral on TikTok and Instagram. And I was like, oh, this is a good sign. So my whole team was really excited about it, and I had just signed to Atlantic, so they were really excited, and Kyle was really excited, and yeah, it just ended up working out really fast too. It was like I met Kyle, I came home, met Kurt, we made the EP, I get signed, and everyone and it starts going viral, and everyone's like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Oh wow, this is fast, but I'm down. Let's do it." And I've also been doing this forever, so I'm like, "Yes, I'm fucking ready. Let's go!" Like, yeah, so.
Earlier, you mentioned that a rep from Atlantic was supposed to come out and didn't show up. And then you mentioned here that you just got signed before the EP. I believe that is Atlantic.
Yes.
Was that a full circle moment where part of you's like, man, fuck these guys, but then part of you's like, no, now it's like, yeah, now I've made it. Like now they're showing up and we're doing the damn thing.
Yeah, it was definitely a different A&R. I probably wouldn't
Yeah,
sign
we
to the
don't talk
A&R
about that other A&R.
that yeah, I probably wouldn't if it was the same A&R that had let me down like that when I was younger. I'd probably be like, "Fuck you." But It wasn't. And I love Atlantic and I love 10K and I love Rebels and my team, everyone that's there. But yes, it was a full circle moment when I signed to Atlantic because I was like, wow, this is the label that crushed my band when we were kids. And now I'm signed to them, which is just like a really big boss move of me to do. So I'm just like, whatever, it's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
they say the greatest revenge is massive success.
yeah, that is true. That's a great thing to say. So, yeah.
In preparation for this interview, I went back, I listened to the entire discography with a good pair of studio headphones, and
Wow.
this 5 song EP sounds incredible. It
Thank
sounds
you.
huge, it sounds thick, it's a pleasant listen. The
Thank you.
mixing is great. Like it's just awesome. It's like a 10 out
Yeah.
of 10 sonically.
Thank you.
The so you played drums on the 5 songs. The drums sound monster. Like you're on the top of
Yeah.
a top of a mountain with microphones recording. And also the guitars are so heavy. Are they down tuned? Like they sound like they're in a different tuning.
They definitely are. I wouldn't know that, but I'm sure that they are. I don't doubt that for a second with Kurt. Kurt and me produced the entire thing. Kurt mixed the vocals on it, and then Dan Bronstein mixed the entire EP, who's incredible. He made it just like the songs just like come to life. And then Kyle Black recorded my drums in his studio. So
Give
not
that
on
guy
top
a
of a
raise, whatever
mountain. I,
he's
I
doing.
know, I
Yeah.
know. The drums are
And you must
crazy.
appreciate that as a drummer,
Oh
that the
yeah,
drums sound that good. It's
yeah,
part of it is your playing, part of it is the actual drum kit you're using, but
for
then
sure.
there's the studio expertise that they're bringing in as well.
The amount of sticks I broke making that EP was I was very proud. And I broke his snare too, which is metal snare, which he was like I was like, you told me to play hard, so that's what I'm doing.
So the EP kicks off with the song Candy. Man, you come out swinging. That song is so heavy.
Thank
And,
you.
and,
Yeah.
and then there's the song Obsessed. In the song, you ask someone if they're obsessed with you. My
Uh-huh.
question is, what are you currently obsessed with? Are there any things that you're currently obsessed with? It could be anything.
Um, wow, that's a great question. I just came back from a tour, so my brain's like this. I was obsessed with touring, and then I'm back. So, um,
Now you're in the
I,
withdrawals detox
yeah,
phase of the tour.
a little bit. I'm obsessing over tea right now. Because it not only am I sick right now and I need it, but on tour, I felt like it like revived me on tour. And I don't really drink tea. I'm a caffeine. I almost said caffeine whore. I love caffeine. So like energy drinks, like coffee, like everything. So I was trying on tour. I was obviously drinking all of that, but tea was just like helping me with my voice. And I didn't blow out my voice once. I didn't get sick one time on tour
That's
for
pretty
almost
impressive for like
almost
a
three
first
months.
massive
Yeah.
tour. Yeah.
And the first tour I went on, I got sick twice and I lost my voice. And I still played the shows. I did what I could, but um, it's just funny. I got so sick after this tour because I was like, God, please don't get me sick on this tour. And I didn't. So, which was nice.
Is there a specific tea that you go to?
Like throat coat probably
Okay.
was like my go-to. Yeah.
And I've heard different tricks, like you put a little honey in there. There's
Yeah,
certain things
yeah.
that help with the vocals.
Just honey. I don't put any lemon or anything like that. Lemon actually like citrus like will close my throat.
The acidic, I guess,
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Yeah. The song Dopamine, it's kind of the standout track, I guess you could say, from the
Yeah.
EP. That's actually how I discovered you, was the song Dopamine. And also
I
I'm a
love
big
that.
fan of Rockfeed,
Okay, yeah.
the YouTube channel and the podcast and all that stuff. And I think Brian is his name at
Yeah.
Rockfeed. He did a quick interview with you at one of the
Yeah,
festivals, and I had
yeah.
watched that.
At
So
Louder Than Life.
so I had seen a drum clip. I heard the song, but they say you need a few different impressions for something to really stick. So I became aware of you with Dopamine, but then it all came together when I saw Brian interview you with Rockfeed at the festival. And then it was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the person that does Dopamine. And then it all comes together. And
Oh, I love
suddenly,
that.
suddenly you're a thing in my consciousness.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's sick. Yeah, I think it was definitely because of a breakup. The whole EP is about a breakup, which is just a common theme that I love to write about. But we're so stuck on our phones, and I'm guilty of that as well. Um, that it just think you have to just overstimulate yourself with something else that's more. But I feel like in my life is always so a lot that I'm always doing something. But I feel like for people that are just stuck in their phones, I feel for them and I hope that they can find something that um helps them find purpose. I think like I always preach that the world lacks inspiration and faith and purpose and belief. And like I think if we had that more and we encouraged that more, I think more people wouldn't be as depressed. And I say that in like the most sensitive way ever. Like I think people lack passion and they have to find something that fuels their passion and makes them want to get up every day. Um, I want to say I don't think that should be in a person. Um, I say I don't know if that's like the right thing to say because people can go away and people aren't like they don't stay forever sometimes and that's just life. Um, so maybe putting all your love and energy and affection into a person maybe not be the healthiest thing ever. So finding like an actual physical hobby or a passion or a career or something within yourself like that makes you closer to yourself and makes you have a strong relationship with yourself, I think is really good. But to say all of that, for dopamine, I put all of my energy and love into somebody and it ended up not working out. And when me and this person split, it was like my dopamine was gone. I felt very numb and emotionless, and it sucked because not only did it affect me, it affected my family and affected people that wanted to see me happy and wanted to hang out with me, and I just wasn't there, and there's no thought behind my eyes, and um, yeah, it was a really definitely low place for me before I wrote that song. Um, I was like a very happy person, or which I usually am happy all the time. So this was very hard for a lot of people to see and for me as well. But I got in the studio and I was. It's so funny. I never get writer's block. I'm always able to write. The only time I'll ever get writer's block is if I'm not being honest with myself, and if I'm lying. And then I can't write. I literally can't. And then I have to like find out what I'm lying about, and then I'm able to write. But for this song, I remember Kurt had made this melody or this guitar part, and I get in the booth and I start singing, and it just like comes out of me like this, like freestyle at the top of my head. Like it just felt like a cry. Like that chorus, like the long note was just like a cry of like I finally can feel something again. So that song actually got me out of that really shitty hole that I was in because my passion, the thing I love, the thing that helps me feel better and brings me that dopamine is that passion is music. So it was like once I wrote that song, I was like, oh my God, I could feel again. But that song is about a breakup, so
And was it cathartic that the song you wrote about feeling numb became the breakout hit of this album
it was gnarly.
and
I
brought you more dopamine on the other end of it?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like it was so weird how the chain of events lined up for me, and I feel like I could have turned something really bad and stayed into a really bad place and but I was happy I turned something really bad into something really amazing and amazing for my career and amazing for other people and that song specifically multiple people on tour on this last tour I just went on came up to me and been like your song Dopamine helped me through my divorce, your song Dopamine helped me get out of bed this morning, it helped me work out, it helped me hit my PR, it helped me like so many different things and I'm like this is amazing because this song helped me out of my depressive state. So to hear that it helped you with that whatever situation you're going through, I love that, and that makes me want to write more music that helps people, and like that's just awesome. But the only way I could do that is if I write truly within myself. So it's like it's so interesting, like the way that works out. But
So you've talked about Kurt Martin quite a bit here. He's an
I have,
important part of your music and your career.
yeah,
And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't have kind words from one
ah,
Kurt Martin who has an exquisite last name. So
yeah, he does, yeah.
Kurt says, Cami is genuinely one of the most talented artists I've ever worked with. She
Oh,
has this rare combination of raw emotion and crystal clear creative vision, which honestly makes my job easy. When we made the Candy EP and later Fade Out, we were both going through some heavy real life stuff. I was dealing with a divorce, and creating those songs with her became a lifeline for me. The music helped me process things I didn't even have the words for at the time. And beyond the studio, she was one of the few people who checked up on me the most. She's a real friend, a genuine person, and I feel blessed to be the one helping bring her vision to life. That's Kurt Martin.
Oh my God, I love him. He's gonna make me cry. I love Kurt. I think Kurt has such a good heart and he means so well and he's so talented and so smart and I'm just happy I met him and I'm happy we're working together. And we're about to be locked in the studio for 3 weeks in December. So
More breaking news.
yes, more breaking news. I'm trying to be like chill about it, but I'll tell you some
Just
stuff.
dropping little hints
I
here
know.
and there. So we've
Yeah.
made it all the way from your earliest musical memory up to the brand new single that came out yesterday. So Fade Out
Yes.
came out Friday, November 21st. What I know it's been 24 hours, but
Yeah.
what have you been hearing so far about this single from fans, from critics, from whoever?
Um, it's been all good feedback. It's crazy. I before I released the song, I was playing it live on tour and it was interesting because the only videos or most of the videos people were clipping or taking videos of and posting them from tour was either Dopamine or Fade Out. And they were like, "What song is this? What song is I can't find it on Spotify." And I was like, and I have never teased it. I was like, I'm not gonna tease it till it's uploaded and it's in there because I'm not gonna tease it and then have people wait months to hear the song. I was like, I'm not gonna do that to them. But people were starting to tease it without me teasing it, so I was like, damn it, I gotta get it out. And so on tour, I called Kyle and I was like, we need to get Fade out like ASAP. And he was like, I'm down, let's do it. And so yeah, it was crazy. The feedback in the last 24 hours have been gnarly. I think it's already hit 100,000 streams, which is sick. Um,
You're getting a lot of messages from people and people tagging you in
yeah,
posts.
so many people are reposting the song, listening to it in their car. I get a lot of DMs like this song is helping me. It's on repeat. It helped me get to the gym today. It's like those messages is what keeps me pushing so hard when it comes to social media and getting content out there and trying to reach more people and yeah, just it continues to make me motivated to do what I do. So, all the support has been unreal. And then the radio thing that happened yesterday, I sat in my car for 2 hours to listen to my song on the radio because I didn't know when they were gonna play it, and I was so excited. And that was a crazy moment for me. So.
And it looks like it also got added to a bunch of popular playlists.
It did, which is new for me as well. I don't really get added to editorials or editorial playlists. So thank you, Spotify, and all the other DSPs for putting me on there. It's crazy.
You posted a behind the scenes from what looks like a music video shoot for that video. Is there a music video coming? Or is that a lyric video
We
or
did. I just worked with this guy named Tommy Kelly, who's an incredible videographer, and we did some more short form stuff. I don't know if we have a music video coming. We do have a I can tell you we have a full album coming soon, and there will be plenty of music videos. So I want to make sure we pick the right song for the right music video, and I want to like make sure it's perfect, you know.
okay, you just dropped a bomb that there's a new album coming. I'm gonna ask questions as a fan, and you can tell me to take a
Okay.
bus if it's stuff you can't talk about.
Okay.
Uh, is this gonna be an EP or a full length? Do we
Full
know yet?
length, I
A
think.
full length.
Yeah.
Uh, is it with new songs starting with Fade Out moving forward, or is it taking the Candy EP and then adding five more songs?
New songs and then start coming forward.
Oh,
So
we're
yeah.
getting some good info here.
I
Uh,
think I think Fade Out will be on there and maybe a couple future songs, future singles. So
Rumor on the street is there's a Kings of Leon Sex on Fire cover as well
yes.
that will be releasing in the near future. Is that true?
That is true. Yes. I honestly, so truthfully, it was supposed to release with Fade Out the same day, and we couldn't clear it with copyright issues, which is okay because it's a cover. I expected that. We tried. It's just gonna take a little bit more pushing and time, but it'll come out. Yes, it's done. So,
I got a little insider information from Kurt, so that's how I knew the Sex on Fire thing. He's
Okay.
like, it didn't clear on time, so it's not gonna come out.
That's okay.
So you said you're about to go in the studio for 3 weeks. Do you
Yeah.
have a estimate of when you're looking to release it? Obviously, it would be 2026 at some point.
Yeah, definitely be in 2026. I don't know when. That's always hard to say because I feel like I could finish the album right now if I wanted to. But the thing is, can I beat the album? You know, can I like I have great songs and I could probably drop an album right now, but I'm like, can I beat those songs and make them better? So that's why we had these 3 weeks locked in to see if we could beat this album. And yeah, and then it'll come out hopefully soon. I want it out. See, people are like, get the music out. I'm like, I want it out as fast as y'all want it out. Like, trust and believe. I'm not sitting on it for any other reason than it's all the business side of things and making sure everything is right with marketing and finding a good rollout plan. And it's like so much deeper than just like releasing the song, I think, which I wish it wasn't. I wish we could just release the song and that was it.
Yeah, see, now that you have a whole team around you with management and a record label,
Yeah.
that's where it actually takes time because
Yeah.
there's several things that have to work together and deadlines that have to be met and rollouts and all that.
Yeah, but I love it because it feels intentional and it doesn't feel like I'm just throwing shit at the wall and it's just like, oh, we'll see if this does well. It's like it feels very intentional and very purposeful and I think Kyle's really good at marketing and find in packaging things together and doing like, oh, we should do like a vinyl drop and a merch drop with this and like very creative. And I think I'm just like in my artist mode. I'm like, I'll make the songs, I'll sing it, I'll perform, I'll meet the fans, I'll be myself. If y'all want to package me like a little product and sell me, go off and do your thing. But I'm gonna just be myself. And if however y'all want to do that and push me out there, I'm cool with it. As long as I'm still myself, I guess. Yeah.
So we have a fan question from Chelsea Bradley Hughes, and her question is, since you've wrapped up the tour with Seether and Daughtry, what's your dream artist to open for next? Do you know when you'll tour next? And maybe add in some Canadian dates, with a wink emoji. So my fellow
I
Canadian,
would
she's in
love to.
Toronto. So if you do
Oh,
a Toronto show, you got to do Ottawa and Montreal.
okay. I definitely will. I definitely would love, love, love to do a tour out of the US. Um, I want to do that next year. I want to see what everything looks like. It's just hard because I have to see when the album's dropping and if I get asked to go on any other opening tours or however that looks. But I definitely want to tour again next year. I definitely want to tour out of the US, so hopefully I can come and see you. And if I could tour with like any artist, that's like my dream artist.
Does this always go back to Cage the Elephant or
No, I'm gonna say Joan Jett.
Joan Jett? Okay,
And
well,
I
that would
was
be
gonna go
the
back
other
to
one.
her. I think I love Cage the Elephant. I saw them live a couple times. I don't think I mean, if they asked me, I would say yes. But like, I think our vibes are a little different. I just love their lyrics. I think I vibe with Cage the Elephant because their storytelling. I think, and obviously their music composition is great, but like just lyrics overall. But Joan Jett, I think would be sick, and I think it'd just be legendary. I think she's a legend, so I'd be down with that.
Hypothetical question. Let's say tomorrow you announce this big tour for 2026. If our listeners went tomorrow and bought a ticket to see you in concert, what can they expect from a Cami Kehoe concert?
Okay, that's good. They could expect a lot of energy. It's gonna be loud. Um, I'm always say like I always have um it's a rock show. Okay. I'm gonna preface that it's a rock show. So people can get crazy, people want to mosh, people want to crowd surf, people want to get aggressive. It is what it is. But I want my shows to feel like always like a safe place for people, regardless. Because some people don't want to mosh and they just want to listen to the lyrics. And like some people just went through a heartbreak and they want to cry to my music in the corner. Like, so I want people to feel like they can come to my shows and be themselves and be however they want. But it does get crazy and I may throw water on you
Things
and
get a little cray cray.
a little bit. Yeah, they can. Especially headline shows. So I think like more opening shows, like I keep it more like laid back because I'm an opener and I gotta like impress the people in front. I'm not gonna be like, get up and throw water and go all crazy. But it also just depends who I'm opening for. But I think for headline shows, it can get there. I may crowd surf. I may open up the pit and tell you guys to run around and hug each other or whatever moshing actually is. So I don't know. But yeah.
What do you think was the biggest show, the biggest crowd that you played to on that big tour that you just wrapped up?
Um, I feel like they were all pretty big. These are the biggest rooms I've ever played. When I saw the first stage on the first show, I literally was like, my mouth like dropped. I was like, this is huge. Um, I feel like Houston was the biggest crowd, but I totally could be wrong. I just felt like the energy from Houston. And I need to go back to Houston because their energy was incredible. Like, I loved every single state, but Houston brought the energy. I said jump, and they were like, how high? They were like, whoa, just jumped. Like, I was like, this is crazy. So,
It
it
looked like
seemed
it
like
was
a lot of
mostly
people.
like arenas that you guys were
It
playing.
it definitely was like amphitheaters. Some of them were arenas. It was pretty crazy. I've never played rooms that big.
Do you think it was like
I think it was more like four to
3,000 to
six.
8,000, like somewhere
Yeah,
in there?
more over there, I think, maybe a little
But
bit.
still, that's insane.
Yeah, no, it was gnarly. I'm cool with just three people in the crowd. So, yeah, literally crazy.
The only thing better than getting a quote from a Daughtry member is getting a quote from two Daughtry members. So this is Daughtry keyboard player
Oh my
Elvio
God, yes.
Fernandez.
LVO.
And Elvio says she's the real deal in terms of being an artist and having a clear vision for her songwriting. See, they're all saying they all see that you have this vision for yourself, which is important. She does this for the right reasons, which isn't chasing fame or fortune. It's to make people feel something and to help people through her songs. That's real. I have no doubt she'll be successful because she truly gets it. The icing on the cake is that she's a wonderful human being with a huge heart. That's not always easy to find in this business. I can't say enough about her. Happy face emoji from Elvio
Oh, he's
Daughtry.
so cute. We had a moment on tour too because we were talking about the writing process of him and Chris and how they write their songs and the emotion that they put into it and the stories and all of that. So I appreciate all those. I appreciate all the kind words from everybody. Wow, that's crazy. That's so
So
sweet.
so we've made it to the final few questions here.
Okay.
When you look ahead at 2026, do you have a vision of how you'd like the year to play out? And are there any goals that you've set for yourself? Maybe you do that at the end of December. That's what I do. I look at the year ahead and I wrap up the previous year. I
Yeah.
set up goals for the next one. Maybe you haven't done it yet, but I guess just wax poetic with me here for 2026.
Yeah.
What would make 2026 awesome for you?
Um, I think the last year was a very difficult year for me. Just a lot happened, and I felt like I had no peace last year. So it'd be awesome to have a sense of peace this next year. Just like overwhelming amount of peace. Like just like feeling like everything is falling into place, no stress. I'm a stress ball, so I would like to do stuff and not feel so stressed out at times and just have fun with it and like it just be it feel easy. Um,
You'll
and I
have to
think
start hot yoga and meditation and all
I know
those
it's really
things.
hot yoga is very popular in LA,
Namaste.
so
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I think just that overall, just an emotion for next year, and then I would love to tour at least twice next year. My own headline tour and then open up for another band maybe. Whether that's out of the US or in the US, I'm down for either. I definitely want my album to smack next year, and so I want to blow my last projects out of the water, and I'm always trying to beat the next thing and do better, and I definitely think it's going to. So I'm so excited for everyone to hear that and hear what I've been working on. And yeah, just like I have a good feeling about next year, so I'm definitely excited.
We've made it to the final two quotes of the interview,
Okay.
and the two quotes work together. So I'm going to read them back to back.
Okay. Okay.
Now, we've had two quotes from POD, two quotes from Daughtry. We got to finish this off with a second quote from Seether. So this is from
Okay.
Seether drummer John Humphrey.
Oh
And John
yes.
says, it was great touring with Cami. She brings it every night. Also, her parents are amazing people as well. Such a beautiful thing to have support from family like that. And then to prove his point, I have one quote to rule them all. This is from your sister, Kirsten Kehoe. And
Really?
she says, "Hi, my
Yeah.
baby sister, Pookie. What I absolutely love, hopefully you're not embarrassed about that. What I absolutely love about you is your heart. You are my
Oh.
rock, my biggest hype woman, the best auntie, and the best sister a girl could ask for. You have the biggest heart for your fans, your family, your friends, and for anybody in your presence. That's why you're curing the world with your music. Your heart shows in your voice and in your lyrics. It's absolutely beautiful. So, yes, what I love about you the most is your beautiful, passionate, and pure heart. From your favorite sister, Kirsten."
Oh my God. Oh my God. That made me cry, actually. Oh my God, I love her. Yeah, Kirsten's my girl. Both my sisters, Kirsten and Kayla, but oh, Kirsten. She called me Pookie. It's like a joke. Okay, so it's not embarrassing. It's just funny. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. She's also my rock and we've been through a lot together, so including the band and just life stuff. So, having a big sister like her, I think has made me be a really strong little sister. So, um, yeah, she's always had my back for sure.
So we have three final questions. I know you're emotional. Can you handle
No, no, yeah, I'm good.
three more questions?
Yeah.
When you look back on your life and career, what are you most proud of?
Um, damn. I think overall, just not giving up. I'm most proud of myself for not, when I feel I'm at my lowest, not throwing it away. Because I've been there multiple times when I was in the band, when I was after the band, when I went solo, when things weren't working out, when songs weren't go doing well, and things would get discouraging. I'm just happy I didn't throw it away and I kept going.
And now when you look back on your life and career, what are you most grateful for?
This is crazy because like I tend to forget all of the stuff that I've done, and you just reminded me of literally every single chapter in my life, which is so amazing, but also very emotional for me because I'm like, wow, like I've been through so much, and um, I'm trying to think.
Most
Repeat,
grateful for?
most grateful. I'd probably say my family, my parents, and I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing and continuing to go with this attitude without my parents supporting me and being there for me. And I think that they've given me strength in different areas of my life and support. And them coming on tour with me was the most incredible thing I could have ever done. And I was nervous for my parents to come on tour with me. I'm 22 and I was like, oh my God, like my parents are like they're not old, they're older, like, but I was like, can you guys handle tour? You know, it's almost 3 months, like that's a long time, like it's a lot of driving. It's taxing. Like people don't realize how taxing tour is, and like they definitely now realize it. But they were so helpful. They had so much fun. Like they loved hanging out with the bands, and I loved experiencing that with them because not only do I feel like they deserved to be to be in a to be like that, or everyone loved them too. So they were like popular on tour, which was I thought was awesome for them. Um, but it was just like really awesome to experience that with them because we from the band till now it was like I kind of went solo and did my own thing and didn't exclude them, but I kind of found my own management or whatever and I just wanted them to be my parents. And so them coming on this tour, my dad was my tour manager. So he was driving and he was like tour managing everything and I think he missed being that like dadager again, like how it was in the band. So I think that was awesome to see.
If you could sit down next to your 10-year-old self and you could whisper words of advice, taking everything you've learned since 10 years old, all the lessons and mentorship and experiences, the highs and lows, the successes and failures, what do you whisper to cute little Cammy sitting there to help guide her through this human experience?
I would probably want to say a lot, but first thing I would say is you got this and it's coming and like don't give up, which I didn't. So like I knew I wasn't going to either. So like I think if anything was motivating me, it was my younger self telling me like don't do this. Like you've worked so hard. Like don't do this. And that's what would keep me going. But I'd probably tell myself to stop. holding myself back and stop comparing yourself to others and be yourself because nobody's you. And uh yeah, like the only thing holding me back was me at points. So I think I would say don't do that.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans that have supported you from the very beginning?
I would like to say thank you and that I love you guys so much and I wouldn't be here and be doing all this and the success and everything I've built over the years without you guys. So especially my day ones. Like, I love you guys, and I can't wait to meet every one of you guys at the shows. I'm a very in-person type of person, so social media is great, and I'm so thankful for all the love on social media. But in person is different, and I can't wait to eventually meet everybody. And the shows are just like the headline shows, and it just feels like one big like party. But it feels like we're all connecting and like we're all going through the same thing. So it's like if you relate to my music, obviously I relate to it because I wrote it, and we can relate to something. So we feel there's just like a cool connection in person. But overall, thank you for everything, and it's been an incredible journey. So I can't wait for you guys to hear what I have next year coming. So,
Shout out to the day ones. And
oh yeah,
as we wrap up, I want to take a moment to acknowledge you for your lifelong pursuit of mastery as a singer, as a songwriter, as a drummer. I want to commend you for having the courage to pursue this dream, to have a big vision for your life, to set goals, to work at them on a daily basis. Your success has shown the rest of us what's truly possible if we commit to that vision. I want to thank you for putting out great music that's become the soundtrack to the lives of millions of people around the world. And last but not least, I want to thank you for this interview, for sitting down with me for the last 2 hours, answering all my ridiculous questions. So, Cami, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
of course. Thank you for having me. This was like one of the best interviews I think I've ever done. So you like nailed every single department. And it honestly made me take a second and appreciate the journey. Sometimes I'm going so fast and I'm on a tour and I'm making an album and I can't take it all in. So you helped me reflect today on my life. So I appreciate you. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the kind words. So, to the Cami Kehoe fans, to the podcast fans, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next episode. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Who would you like me to feature next for a 2-hour deep dive interview? You can let me know in the comments. You can also send me an email at joelmartinmastery@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me on all social media platforms at joelmartinmastery. So I am done. I am complete. I approve this message, and I'll see you on the next episode.